We are live.
All right.
Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to our Google Hangout Live today. I'm here with none other than the one, the only Adam Flores. Glad you've joined us. I know we're going to get some viewers that are jumping in here in just a few minutes. Um, I'm hoping everybody can jump on. Let's give it just a minute here. My lighting is not that great. See if I can.
You actually look pretty good. You don't look too shabby.
Yeah, check it out, yo. I'm dressed
There
for the day.
it is. All right, cool, cool.
Let me see. I've got some people chiming in on me really quick, making sure we can jump in. But I'm pretty sure we're broadcasting live now.
Like I got my whiteboard behind me ready to go all
Yeah, dude,
time.
I'm excited about this. I'm excited to learn from the master.
We're
Okay,
gonna do it.
so
We're gonna do it.
we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll, and then people can jump in as they jump in. I'm surprised we don't have any more shows that we don't have any viewers on, but I'm assuming they'll jump in here in just a minute. So
Okay.
welcome everybody to our Tuesday afternoon webinar. Just so you know, we're doing these every Tuesday, 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So whether you're on the Pacific Coast, it's 1 o'clock, East Coast, 4 o'clock. We record these live so that you have a chance to go back and watch them live. But nonetheless, glad you're here with us. My name is Ryan Harris. I'm a social media strategist. I've got with me a special guest today, good friend of mine, mastermind, one of the dudes that I learned the most from in this world of social media, the one and the only Adam Flores. Adam, say hi to everybody.
What's going on, you guys?
So I want to introduce you to Adam before we get rocking and rolling, and then like normal, we're just going to do this conversation style. As you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm actually in my home today. So my office location, my internet's down, so I had to make sure that I could do it somewhere where we could have internet. So this is me. I work from home, and it is what it is. So, but let me introduce Adam. So I've known Adam here about the last 3 or 4 years. We met at an executive leadership retreat a few years ago. We connected because we're both passionate about social media. We talked a lot. We brainstormed mastermind multiple times, had lots of conversations. And I'll tell you one thing that I'm the most impressed with Adam is he's a social entrepreneur, but he's a hustler. He knows how to get stuff done, and he is brilliant. He spent a lot of time in the world of education, understanding more about what social media is, how it works, learning how the experts do it, the top of the top. He's sat at the feet of Brendan Burchard, some of his trainings and teachings. He's spent time learning, basically spending time in personal development, personal growth, and also professional growth. I heard a quote the other day that simply said something like this, that your level of personal success is directly tied to your level of personal development. So if you have good habits in personal development, then you're going to have great success in your life. And I think that's one of the things that I'm most impressed with Adam, is he spends time getting better himself. He's brilliant when it comes to marketing. He's a young entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, one of the brightest guys that I know. So I'm actually honored, Adam, to spend this next hour with you today. I know you've got quite the following, and unfortunately we're doing this midday, so all these people that are in what we call a JOB are going to miss out on some really, really gold nuggets today. But good friend of mine, we spent the last weekend together, and I thought, you know what, the people in my community would be lucky to get to know Adam a little bit better, learn a little bit more about what he's doing, and also teach us a few gold nuggets about how to generate more leads using social media. So Adam, without any further ado, why don't you go ahead and share with us a little bit more about your background, where you come from, maybe School of Hard Knocks. Teach us a little bit about how you got into this world of social media and what it means to you, and then we'll go more of a dialogue. But time's yours, buddy. Take it away.
Sounds good. Well, thanks first and foremost, Mr. Ryan Harris. I'm so grateful to be, on this webinar with you. Such a good friend of mine, and one of the things is we got to first start off by bringing you to California, because I think the sun is reflecting off of all the snow there, and
That's
that's why
exactly
it's
right.
so white in your room.
Yeah, it snowed today, so first time in like 2 months, but
Oh man, yeah, it's beautiful.
supposed
It
to
actually
be.
snowed on the beach out here. Snowed on the beach out here. So yeah, I mean it's just a great place. But yeah, a little bit about my background. I grew up here in Southern California. I got into business when I was 18 years old, and I just had this big dream to do something big with my life. I think early on I just grew really purpose driven. So early on I wasn't attracted to so much of the shiny objects, the big houses, and the fancy cars or anything like that. I've always been more driven by making a difference and making an impact. And a moment I really remember in my youth growing up that really directed my life is I used to be a dishwasher, and at a golf course. I was 18 years old. Real Mexican, right? So fit the stereotype, right? So I'm washing dishes, and on my break, it's at a restaurant, and it sits on the golf shop on a second story. I overlook the golf course, and I just see all these people playing golf in the middle of the day. And I ask myself, how in the world do these people have time to play golf in the middle of the day? I don't come from that kind of background. My grandparents, they own a landscaping business, which is a fancy term for mowing lawns, right? And my mom worked 2 and 3 jobs to help provide for me and my brother, and nobody in my family had that kind of free time during the day. And so I thought to myself, if I can learn how to get enough free time to play golf every day, I wouldn't just use it to do that. I would make a difference. I'd make an impact. I'd use that time and money to work with nonprofits and do ministry and do great things in life, And so as I got to develop relationships with a lot of these people on the golf course, I found out one thing, that they all had businesses. And so, a lot of them at least. And so I made a decision at an early age that I was going to go into business. So at 18, I got involved in my first direct sales business, and I really struggled. I didn't have any credibility. I didn't have any, I didn't have a circle of influence that I can, introduce these opportunities to, and I just really struggled. I had, the only people that I could really talk to were my circle of friends in school, which at 18 people aren't really, business-minded at all. So I really went through the ringer. It was really a learning phase. I got rejected a lot, and I had to deal with a lot of pains and frustrations, trying to get out there and trying to get my message out there. And really for 3.5, 4 years, I didn't make any money in business. I just really was struggling, but I was a student in leadership. I was going to all the seminars and learning and doing workshops and reading books, and thank God for YouTube and how much information you can get from YouTube. And so by the time I hit 24, it started to come together, and I started to see success in a direct sales business, but I noticed that there was a wall, and I had this leadership now, but I didn't have the audience to talk to about the products and the services that I was passionate about my direct sales business. So I'm thinking, great, here I am with all of these leadership abilities and no one to lead because I can't get to my audience. So I began to invest in some of the top coaches in leadership and internet marketing and social media. And I spent tens of thousands of dollars on my education learning from these guys. And with what I learned and all the stuff in leadership, when I brought, social media, internet marketing, leadership, brought it all together, I was able to grow my business to do over $1 million in sales by the time I was 24 years old. And so, I'm sorry, 23, 24, somewhere around there. So, so with that being said, it just goes to show you that when you invest in your education, it's often what we don't know that prevents us from getting to that goal that we have. And so, with what I've been able to learn, I've been able to, build an audience, and being able to really position myself as somebody who who is an expert in this industry, I guess you could say, so on and so forth. But yeah, so I mean, it's taken a lot of years of development, and so now it's cool because I get to help teach other people and shortcut that process for them.
So I got a question for you. Was it that, and you said that you started when you were 18 years old. But my real question was, personal development from day one. Now here you are a few years later, a few years older, a few years wiser, right? What was it worth it? I mean, was all that time that you spent in personal development worth it? And why?
Well, yeah, it's funny because remember how I was wondering how those people play golf every day? Now I'm one of those people that make people wonder.
Love it.
So it's been worth it. I've been able to achieve a lot of those things. I've helped start ministries. Working with a nonprofit now. It's called Create Purpose. Amazing organization. And I'm able to be home a lot more. I'm getting married. The end of this year, early next year, we're working on the dates. So now moving into a new season of life. And when you're young, you don't understand the importance of free time that much, But now that I'm getting older, I'm really understanding the power of being able to be at home and, be able to, come and go as I please. And, just the little things, I really enjoy the little things where you don't have to worry about, I remember I was so strapped for finances that I would remember the dollar menu at every place, and, just like, I would leave I always wanted a better tip, and I'd always leave little tips, and just because I couldn't afford to do the things I wanted. And now I like that those little things are no longer a burden on me. I don't even know what gas costs anymore, but there was a time I knew I could tell you to the penny. It was like 3.75. I could tell you all three numbers.
Yeah.
but now I don't know. So just little things like that are cool to have that financial peace of mind. And then being able to travel, I've been to some incredible places, and just the lifestyle has been, awesome. But more importantly, the coolest part about everything is being able to be in a place where now I can actually help people. When you become successful, more people come to you for guidance and for help. And I think being able to pour out and give back is really the most rewarding thing about having success. And that was where one of my biggest pains when I was trying to go through that process. I so wanted to give back and make a difference. I just didn't have the audience to do it with, if that makes sense. So that's been the most important thing.
Yeah, Zig Ziglar, I think, said it best, and I live by this quote. And I try to align my life with this, just like you said. And Adam, maybe that's why we've connected so well. He simply said, you can have everything you want in life by helping enough people get what they want. So we're not here to talk about you and me, though. We're here to talk about some social media lead generation tips, tactics, strategies. We've got some people on. I think this is going to be one of the most watched video that we produce, just because I know how brilliant you are with this. So tell us how you were introduced to social media. I know you're kind of that generation that everybody's on social media. How did you figure out how to monetize that? And share with us some of your tips and tricks as far as, okay, and recognize that we have people watching this webinar that are in different phases. Some people are just barely getting started. So what would you say to that person? Some people know how to use social media, and they're trying to figure out how to better capitalize and better utilize those people they're in communication with. And then we have some people that are more or less experts in social media, and they just need a little bit more direction. So let's go back to the first phase. The person just starting, what would you say to somebody like that?
Sure, definitely. So one of the things I really teach a lot of my students is I go into the 3 Ps. And the first P is positioning. So if you're just getting started or you've been utilizing social media already, this is an area that we can always strengthen. And positioning is just being able to position yourself to your audience as the go-to person at whatever you're doing. So here's an example. Have you ever Googled something before, like a home-based business coach, or if you've Googled social media coach, if you Google, whatever thing you're looking for, there's somebody else out there who's ready to respond to that, to whatever it is you're looking for. So if you're not positioned as somebody who people can come to for what you have to offer, then I would start there. Is really, how can I become a go-to person at what I do? And you start out small. It may start to your Facebook friends, or it may start out to your Instagram community, but people need to be clear on what it is you do and how you can help them. So that way that they know they can come to you whenever they have a need in their life that you can help solve or bring a solution to. So I'll give you a funny story. Years ago, I was in a jacuzzi at this resort, and this guy comes in, and he's an older man, and I'm hanging out with my young friends, and he comes in, and they're like, oh great, this old man's crashing the party, and he gets in, and he goes, hey, how you guys doing? He goes, I'm Glenn Willis, and I'm the best there is at what I do. And everyone's like, well, what do you do? He's like, I'm a handyman. And we're like, well, that's so cool. Like, what a cool introduction. And he goes, yeah, he goes, I used that since 1975, and I haven't had to, go out and do any other advertising or anything like that. He said, because everywhere I go, I would just introduce myself that way, and it generated so many leads for my business. I was always busy in people's homes because I was the best there is. I'm the best there is at what I do. And so the thing is that Glenn Willis positioned himself to be able to, share to his audience wherever he was what he does. And so in the social space, we need to be able to position ourselves as the go-to person. So the question is, how do you do that? And that goes into the second phase, which I call packaging. So have you ever? Well, here's a good example. Coffee is offered all around the world, right? Coffee is offered all around the world. But when you think of the most dominant coffee shop, what do you think about? What names come to mind? Or what names?
Starbucks, obviously. Yeah, Starbucks or, yep.
Exactly. So Starbucks is a great example of that. So what makes Starbucks so special? Well, a couple things, but one of the things is their packaging, right? If you ever seen somebody with a gas station cup of coffee versus a Starbucks cup of coffee, there's a little status difference, right?
You're right.
Starbucks is like that higher end, coffee drink, and then you have that gas station cup of coffee, which, it's a little bit of that, a lot of the truckers, or different crowd might, walk around proud with, right?
Yeah.
And so, so in the same way, and that's one of the reasons why Starbucks is able to charge so much more for their product. It's more of a status thing, and then also to the experience that they create. If people just wanted coffee, they would go to the grocery store or the closest place to them to get coffee or make it at home. But why every morning is Starbucks lines out the door? It's because when they go in, they get greeted by the person at the front. They get that nice cup. They get the music and the ambiance and that whole experience. And that's all part of packaging. It's packaging and experience for their customers, and that's what people pay for. That's why they're willing to pay $5 because of the packaging. So it's no different in generating leads. Is that when people come to your page, you can actually create an experience for them, and people don't think about it like this. But when people visit my page, I want to create an experience. I want to create an experience of growth. I want to create a wow factor. Where like, wow, this is really professional. I want to be able to have such an aesthetically pleasing site that people are curious to know what it is that I do. And so a lot of people, I think, make the mistake of posting crazy pictures, and they post things that are unprofessional or that don't really edify their character, if that makes sense. And the whole goal is we want to be able to build trust in audience, because I'm going to talk to you guys about driving tons of traffic in a minute. But if I were to send out an ad and somebody else were to send out an ad, we should be able to get the same response back. But if somebody's not packaged and they're not positioned, then I'm always going to win every time, right? And so that's where we got to think is, okay, how can we use our social media site as a platform to reflect our credibility, and how can we use that social media platform as a way to, show people that we're professionals in what we do. And so the way you could do that is by creating awesome professional content. I think everyone in this day and age should have high resolution photos. Your cover photo should be awesome, and your content should be high quality. And the posts that you make should add value to people. If you want to be a person who generates leads, people have to be able to trust you, and they have to be able to like you. And being able to show your real life, yes, but being able to show those things that edify who you are, what you do, and utilizing social proof. Utilizing pictures of being with friends and people that you've helped, and stories that you help, people you've helped. So I think utilizing all that is creating that experience for people, and that's really the foundation.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before you get to the third P, because I'm sitting here taking copious notes, just so you know. I'm not looking away. I'm not doing something else. I'm learning from the master here today, so this is great. So one thing you talked about when you're talking about packaging specifically, and you use this Starbucks content, tell me a little bit more, because I think we all recognize that it doesn't matter the Starbucks that you go into, you get the same experience. So talk a little bit from a packaging perspective about the system, right? Because we have to have a system of duplication, especially if you're in this world of home-based businesses, direct sales. We've got to create an environment of packaging to duplicate that throughout, your team, your organization, or even any business in general. If you're trying to brand yourself in that context, maybe give us some more insight about how you've packaged that to further develop your system of duplication. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Sure, definitely, definitely. So I think, well, there's two things here. I think one is having a system flow, knowing what someone goes through as in their journey to get to your end result that you desire for them. So I'll give you an example. I had a therapist actually contacted me on Facebook, and she graduated from Pepperdine University, which is a prestigious university. She got her degree and went into creating her own office and everything like that. And she reached out to me. She says, Adam, she says, I have a great office. I believe in my practice and what I do, but I'm having trouble getting people into the doors. And a lot of other therapists are, getting more clientele in my area, utilizing the internet and social media, and I just don't know where to start. And so I said, well, how did you find me? I said, how did you find me? And she says, well, the way I found you is somebody posted a picture of one of your quotes that you had put on your wall, and so I clicked on it, I liked the quote, and then I clicked on your website because your website was on there, and then I saw your testimonials that you had, and then from your testimonials, I said, I better message this guy. So that's not the first time that happened. That process happens again and again and again and again. And so I think it's really getting clear on what's the system flow first and foremost. The goal is you should be able to have a way that people can know what you do. So you don't have to always, if you're promoting a home business opportunity, you don't always have to be talking about what that opportunity is. You just they have to know though that you do have an opportunity available, that you're just not some cool person that does nothing to offer people. You need to be able to put it out there, that you are in a home-based business, that you are looking for people every now and then, so that way they can find you. And then a place that they can contact you. Do you want them to email you? Do you want them to message you and connect with you? There has to be some type of direct way that you can communicate to them on where they can continue that relationship with you to learn more. And it's about identifying that system for you is what journey do you want your customer to walk through. And when you can get clear on that, then you could start to duplicate that process. So it's going to be different for everybody depending on what social media platform they're using. Like, for instance, I know a lot of people who are very successful creating posts that have a testimonial on the comment, and then they'll say in the post, in the ad copy or the copy for that post, it'll say, send me a message to learn more, and then that's where they can develop that relationship. So it doesn't have to be a complicated process, but it's just about knowing what that process is, and then you can teach and duplicate that process from there.
Okay, now going to the third P. Okay, going to the third P now. Sorry.
Okay.
Didn't go on a tangent.
You got it. So the third P is promoting. And so we talked about positioning yourself as someone who people know for what you do, packaging yourself to be the pro and to be someone who people can trust to come to, and then promoting, being able to utilize social media advertising as a way to reach people, thousands of people, to drive them back to who you are and what you do, basically. So I remember when I first got into social media advertising, it was like the most amazing thing because I was reaching thousands of people a day, and it was so inexpensive, compared to other forms of advertising. My inboxes were flooded with people who wanted to know more about what I did, and it was one of the coolest times because traditional business works so hard to grind and to get out there, and so to be able to have some people coming to me was just the coolest thing. And so if you haven't, the people out there listening, if you haven't got into social media advertising yet, you got to get on that because it's so powerful. The leverage that you have to reach people is so much greater and so much faster than you could ever do manually or on your own. And so it really changed my business in a big way, because for the first time I was able to get people coming to me in the convenience of my home on a scalable level, to where there were dozens and dozens of people that wanted to know more and inquire more. So that comes through promoting. So depending on what platform you're on, like Facebook is really big. I spend a lot of time now with Instagram, and then there's YouTube, there's Pinterest, there's so many different advertising platforms. There's Twitter. So you don't have to. I think the big misconception is when it comes to promoting is that people want to be on all of them, and you don't have to have success in all of them. You can just master one and start there. So for me, I started with Facebook. I mastered that, and then I moved on to Instagram, and then there's Twitter, there's LinkedIn. But I've had so much success between those two. I am on some other social sites, but I don't invest as much into those programs just because I'm having so much success with the programs that I'm using. And so don't feel like you have to be on all of them. Find the ones that fit you the best and then do those.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice, because I think you're right. I think people want to know how to utilize every single one all the time. And in a lot of cases, what happens is they get so overwhelmed with all the information that they don't necessarily identify which one works best for them and how to utilize that one specifically for their business. So let's talk. Share with us a little bit more about kind of your strategies, maybe a little more detail into what you do. I know we don't want to give away the cart before the horse, right? But we give us a little bit more insights. I know you've got a whiteboard there. You're ready to teach us something, and we're ready to learn. So share with us your wisdom, O Master Adam.
Sure. Well, definitely. So I think it just really starts with identifying, like we talked about, that system flow of what you want. And so, for example, you may want to drive people into it. You may have an automated system. So for those who don't know, automated system is where you're hands off. You're not interacting with anybody. It's just they're going through a system, and then you get the end result. And then there's manual, where you might actually reach out to them and then message them, build a relationship, and then get them on the phone to bring them into your opportunity or whatever it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to show you the automated way that you can use for direct sales, and then we'll get into some manual training as well that you can use for direct sales. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and get out my marker, and we'll go ahead and, can you see my whiteboard okay?
Yep, it looks great.
Okay, perfect. So let's just say, for example, that you use Facebook. Can you see that? Or is it kind of...
Yep. No, looks good. Looks good.
Stronger marker here. Here you go. I got another blue. It's a little bit stronger. Okay. So let's say that you use Facebook, right? And you run your ad. So Facebook ads. You can drive them. Your Facebook ads, you could do a couple different ways. There's 3 ways you can use Facebook ads. You can promote like campaigns, which a like campaign is sending out a campaign to build basically likes to your page, people who are interested in the topic that you have. So for instance, if you wanted to create a post that said, if you are into network marketing, or if you are into home-based business, or you're into entrepreneurship, hit the like button. So what you're going to do is attract a bunch of like-minded people to your page, and you can get thousands of followers onto liking your page. So every time you post content, they're going to see that content again and again. So that's one strategy, is building a like campaign around your page.
The other strategy. I got a question for you there. One of the biggest questions that we get all the time, I'm sure you get this all the time as well, is, should I have my own business page? What's the difference in my personal page versus me having a business page? And I know you can do Facebook advertising in both, but give us some more feedback specifically on why you would have one over the other.
Yeah, definitely. So the reason why you want a business page is because you can actually have a lot more followers that you can get onto your business page. And then also too, there's more options. You can do more things. You can create a community. You can also advertise to that page a little bit easier. You could also focus more on a niche, if that makes sense. So on your personal page, people want to see your life. They get on to connect with you, right? They want to engage with you. But on a business page, you can just put a lot more direct content on that page and be unapologetic about it, because that's what the page is meant for.
Yeah.
So people come to you to learn from you on that page.
So on your personal page, you're saying it's more of an attraction type concept where you're bringing people to you, showing them your lifestyle, showing them your interest, but also driving them to your business page, where your business platform you're using a little bit more as an advertising platform for your business. Is that understanding? Okay.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So that's the first thing you can do, is run a Facebook ad, build a like campaign, and then the other thing you can do is you can promote a post. So you can create like a before and after picture, and you can tell your story, and you can promote that post to thousands of people, to a targeted audience of who you desire. And then there's dark posts, and a dark post is where you would create an ad, and that ad, when they click on it, it will drive them to another website. And so let's just draw, for example, here you have, let's say we drive them to an opt-in page. So your opt-in page, your ad might go into an opt-in page, and the opt-in page will be a place where maybe there's a video about your opportunity or about your story or about what you do. And the opt-in page may have a place for their name and their email, or if you want to be able to get them converted into your business, it may be a name and phone number that they can type in their information, and you can get them on the phone and do it that way. So this is one of the things that I did early on, is I released a video, and on my Vimeo channel, that video plugged into an opt-in page, and it did like 30,000 views in like 60 different countries or something like that. And it had their name and phone number. So my inboxes were literally flooded with people who wanted to learn more about about my story, about what I do and how I can help them. And so that was a big part of my success, is being able to drive them to that opt-in. And so if you have an impactful, I think video is a great tool to be able to share your story, share more about your why and how why you do what you do, why you're excited to do what you do, and the big opportunity that you have available. You should have a video plugged into an opt-in page. This is next level for people who want to get to the next level, obviously. And you can put your name and phone number there. And I'm sure you've opted into many pages. We're in 2015 now. We all know what that looks like. So then from there.
Quick question while you're on that. Can you give us a couple of suggestions for people that are kind of in that, they're a little more expert on Facebook and trying to figure out what these opt-in pages are? Give us a couple ideas as far as some ones that you use, like squeeze pages, like websites, lead generation type stuff that can, to create one of these opt-in pages.
Sure, definitely. So I would say Lead Pages, first of all, is a great website to use. It's I think it starts, I want to say $67 a month. You can get it. And it's pretty cool because they're already set for you. They're already tested for you. You don't have to be smart. I think a lot of people are afraid to get an opt-in page because they feel they have to be like this tech-savvy ninja to put one up, and they're already made for you. You just plug in your information and plug in your video, and it's ready to go. It's pretty simple to set up. So Lead Pages is a great way to go. You can also go to a site called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. And they can build custom pages for you there if you want. You can get a good value on one. But those are two just simple sites that you can use for your opt-in. And there's a couple different options and way you could do it too. You can give away something for free. And if you have something for free, like for instance, if you opt in, I'll give you a free report. Or if you opt in, I'll give you a free interview. So like, Ryan could use this interview as a way to get more leads. Learn how, learn social media strategies from a social media guru, as an example, by putting your name and phone number in this box here, and he can send them this free webinar in exchange for information too. So, when you do an opt-in page, if you can give something away for free, there's definitely an upper hand that you have in getting that contact information. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
So I know I know some people in the home-based business world in general are trying to figure, well, what content would I use for an opt-in page? And if I'm not mistaken, I've seen a lot of different stuff out there that just ebooks, free ebooks, PDFs that you can download off of the internet. They're like the benefits of a home-based business or the tax benefits. It's like maybe 15 or 20 pages, and you just download it and then send it to these people that opt in. It's not a I mean, you don't have to do an interview like this to create an opt-in page. And I think that's one of the key things that people need to understand going forward is it's going to generate a lot of automated leads exactly like you're talking about, but you've got to do something. You have to provide value to those people that you're in communication with. So great point, Adam. Keep going.
Absolutely. And then we have then it goes into your inbox. So if you got the email, then now you're going to need an email campaign to get them onto a webinar. And then from the webinar, they can enroll in your opportunity. Or if you want to do it manually, if you got their phone number, then you can make a phone call and get them into your opportunity that way. And so it just depends on what your system is, because some opportunities, they are not automated. So that means that you actually have to pick up the phone and enroll them into the program. So you would want to Optin Page with the phone number. Some are automated, and you may want to get them onto a webinar with a link where they can go and enroll themselves. And so it just depends on what opportunity that you belong to would determine the system that you created. But this is the common process that a lot of internet social media marketers will use, and this could change. It could be Instagram. You could have followers on your Instagram, and you could have an opt-in page, the link in your bio, and then they can come in and get more information about who you are and what you do. So that's what we talk about as positioning in the beginning is if you have this set up and you have packaging, you look professional and you look like somebody who they can trust and that they like, then you can be able to get them to the end of your funnel where you can build that relationship and get them involved and help them reach their goals. And that's really the fundamental setup that I think everyone should have, especially in this day and age.
So and I mean this is brilliant information, and this took me about probably a year to figure it out. So I wish I would have had your insights 12 months ago, just the flow process and how that all works. Tell me a little bit more. Maybe give us some more insights on where you see social media going, what trends you're seeing, what social media platforms you feel are going to be the most effective come 2015, 2016. What's your projections? And share with us some of the insights on that, Adam.
Sure, definitely. Well, I think that where social media is going is there's so much noise out there now, right? There's so much going on. Everybody's doing advertising now to some way or another. It seems like everyone's doing it, right? You have more marketers getting out there. And so the way I see social media going is the people who are going to have the most success are the people who can find a way to reach the masses in a personal way. And so the question is, how do you do that? How do you reach the masses in a personal way? So one of the things that I've done, and this is something that I really don't share a lot, but I'll share it with you guys just because Ryan's such a good friend of mine. When I'm in like a serious lead generation phase, when I need to generate leads, whether it's for opportunity or whatever it is I want to plug them into, what I'll do is I have people overseas through a site like odesk.com. Odesk is a great way to find people who work overseas, and they work for like $3 to $4 an hour, and they can go into your page, just like for instance an Instagram, and they could go into your profile as you and connect and build relationships with hundreds of people. These hundreds of people write back, and you're able to continue that conversation, and they're already targeted because you've trained that person in Odesk who to go after. So I'm able to reach hundreds or thousands of people in a personal way, and I'm not even there. Building conversations with people, and I'm not even there. And that's pretty cool. So once we have that interaction, I'm able to get the phone number and put it on a spreadsheet, and I have interns that do that for me. But when I was in the beginning phases, I was doing that. And then, just pick up the phone and build relationships with sharp people. Yeah. And that's the name of this game. If you can do that, the world, you can enroll the world.
So tell us a little bit, what's your definition in social space of authenticity?
Being able to share your story is the most important thing. It's the most important thing. Your story is what makes you unique in this marketplace. And I think that there's so many stories that are going untold. I think a lot of people have an amazing gift to share, I think a lot of people have amazing opportunities to share. They have an amazing background and why. And so many people don't even know what their why is. They don't know what's their drive. They don't know the story behind the person. And so it just looks like every other person. And stories are what compel you to want to know more about somebody. They can do the same thing as Joe over here, and because you heard their story, you feel like, wow, I connect with that person, you know? And so the story is the beginning part of authenticity. The second part of authenticity is when you can learn to build credibility above the rest. So there's 3 ways to build credibility without actually having it, okay? And this is huge for me. This is a big breakthrough, and I'm going to share this with you guys. Some people think you need to have results, which is the first R, right? There's 3 R's. Some people think you need to have results is the only way to be credible at what you do. And when you start, you don't have results, right? You don't have results to be that credible person. So what do? So the second R is become a researcher. So what is a researcher? A researcher is somebody who studies a topic and brings the information back to their audience. So for instance, if you are in the home-based business space, and if you were to read an awesome book or attend an awesome seminar or get an awesome piece of information, and you were to share that to your audience, what you learned and your findings, you're actually borrowing the credibility because you're bringing value to your audience, and your audience now takes a different role. They look up to you now as somebody to learn from, and so instead of seeing your prospects as prospects, see them as your students. You're doing research to be able to give them information that can help them reach their goals. That makes sense. So that's the R. And that's a big paradigm that I had too, is taking prospects as prospects and seeing them as my students, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
The other R is to become a reporter, and that's interviewing people who are successful in this space. And it's a crazy thing that when you begin to associate yourself with people who are successful, they tend to make you successful by association. Yeah. And it's the coolest thing. And a lot of people have become successful that way. Napoleon Hill is a great example of that. He did a lot of interviews with wealthy people. A lot of people don't know that Napoleon Hill wasn't actually very wealthy himself. He just interviewed a lot of wealthy people, and from that he was able to, become one of the most successful, authors that we know today, and just a reporter and researcher, really. So, for those of you out there who are looking to build credibility and jump by leaps in, games, find people who are really successful and interview them, and that's a great way to bring value to your audience.
Yeah. Okay, so we've picked your brain. I know you're exhausted. I'm exhausted. I mean, we've hit so many platforms here today. I just have one last question for you. And this is gonna, I want the people on this overview to connect with you. So, simple question, very simple question. Because I know you're so authentic, here it is. What's next?
What's next for me, or what's next for me?
Yeah, what's next?
Well, what's next for me is I have a book coming out this year. I also have a mastermind coaching program that I'm going to be releasing later on this year. That is just awesome. I'm super excited about that. I have seminars coming out, so this is just a big year that I'm just really excited about, to be able to use. Once you build that audience, it's so cool because whatever you create, you're able to get people, you're able to help them, serve them with the tools that you've created or the opportunities that you have. And so because of my confidence to do that, it's been awesome to be able to have more options now for things that I'm working on and creating.
Well, Adam, I'm so stoked. I'm so excited. I can't wait till your book releases. I'll buy it and read it and learn from the master. I mean, this has been, I tell you, I've got notes and notes, pages of notes, taking copious notes, learning from the master. Nothing better than spending time with people who have done it before. I once was in the survey one time, or I was reading over a survey, and they said, what would you rather be, the person that goes and tries to figure it out first and then ask questions after you failed, or the person that goes and asks questions before you fail? And I know there's this world of school of hard knocks, and people are always trying to figure out how to streamline everything. Well, for me, I've learned I've done it both ways, and I've learned by asking questions of guys like Adam who have this abundance mentality to give and give and give. That it's a lot quicker process. So
And
I
I want to say
appreciate.
something too. I wanted to say, Ryan, that you're a great example of just seeking knowledge and getting out there because you're so successful already. You have so much success. You have so much knowledge and wisdom regarding social media, and instead of just staying there and trying to stay in your own bubble and trying to figure things out. We always have conversations, and you're always picking my brain on like, hey, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? And
Yeah.
you already have so much knowledge, and you're still looking for more, and you have so many relationships. I'm just one of many people that you have relationships with, and people that you're constantly learning what's cutting edge, and then you always bring that information. You're open to share it. You just have such an abundance mentality. So I just hats off to you, man, for
Thanks,
just
man.
being awesome and for just putting this on. I mean, you didn't even have to do this, for your audience, and to be able to do that for people who follow you, that's so awesome to bring that value. And I just continue to share everything that I learn with you. So, social media is always changing. So as new things come out, maybe we can have a more in-depth
Absolutely.
another time. And we might have to put together maybe a little program even, where
Yeah.
where it's really detailed stuff for the people who really want to learn.
Yeah.
That's an option too. So we'll figure something out. Any way I can help
Good.
serve, then we'll work on something.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Adam, and I'm always happy to connect and communicate with people that are kind of my same mindset. So, listen, guys, for those of you that are on with us today or that watch this later, make sure you reach out, connect with Adam on his Facebook account, Adam iMob Flores. Also, take a look at his website, adamimobflores.com. It's a beautiful website, well put together. Reach out to him for some coaching ideas or maybe some other tips and tricks that you might be looking for. And what's your Instagram? Is it
Adam Flores.
Adam iMob Flores? There you go. Make it easy.
Yeah.
Make it easy. Connect with Adam. Reach out. He's one of the most authentic guys you'll ever meet in social space. So again, I can't tell you thanks enough, Adam, for being a part of this cool little interview. I really enjoy this. I think it's more for me than anybody else. And what I would share with those of you that are connected, that you're watching this, next week, I'm also going to be interviewing one of the top distributors for a network marketing company. She's made hundreds of thousands of dollars. She failed in the previous 3 or 4 businesses that she's been a part of, and now she's building it all online. She's going to share with us some really great tips and tricks. Her name is brain fart, complete brain fart. Hold on. I'm definitely gonna edit this part of the webinar. Oh man! Hold on, everybody. You're gonna kill me. She's gonna kill me if she ever watches this. I'm having a senior moment, and I'm not even that old. The company is called Unique. Hold on, bear with me here. Amber Voigt. Maybe it was Amber. Anyway, so Amber Voigt's going to be with us. We have to laugh at ourselves, You can't always get it right, but
Right.
Amber Voigt's going to be with us next week. She has businesses all over the world now with the business she's a part of, and really exceptional leader. So we're going to have a chance to listen in, learn a little bit more about what she's doing in social space. Again, providing value to you guys to see what works best. Listen, the way that I teach is a little bit different than the way that Adam teaches it. A little different than the way that John Melton teaches it, the guy we interviewed last week. Different than the way that Amber teaches it. So connect with us. We're doing these every single Tuesday, 2 o'clock. We're hanging out live. You're welcome to join us. 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I'll post the next event here on Facebook in the next couple days. So come join us. Come join this community. I'm sure Adam's going to be back again soon. I always get messages from him of the newest, coolest things that are happening. So we'll definitely keep posted on your success, Adam, what's happening. Thanks for providing the value to us, and we look forward to the future with you, buddy.
Perfect. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
All right, bye, everybody. Take care.